Hi everybody, I hope this video finds you well. Truth be told, this is like the 1 millionth time I've tried to make this video, but it kind of needs to be the last because this baby is quite literally due any day now. And the whole idea was for me to make this before the baby gets here. So, yes, I'm going to be a mom, and the idea of that is still so insane and surreal and exciting, and it's unlike anything I've ever experienced before. But to be completely honest with you, part of the reason why it is so surreal is because I actually did not think that I was cut out to be a mom. Of course, now the sun is behind the clouds again. I, of course, had concerns that everyone has, right, about the physical impact that it can have to your body, especially as someone who, whose physical fitness and whose ability to conduct physically demanding tasks is directly related to her career progression. But more than that even, I think that I had a lot of fear around repeating some of the same mistakes that my parents did. And I know everyone is not doomed to be just like their parents, right? I don't really mean in like, in that sort of way. I mean more in the generational trauma sort of way, because when my husband and I were like at the beginning of our relationship, when we were still dating, I became aware for the first time that I had habits that my parents had also had that I couldn't stand when I was living with them and, you know, being raised by them. I remembered feeling, you know, awful and despising the fact that they had certain behaviors. And then without even realizing it, I was exhibiting them myself. And that really, really freaked me out and shook me up, because basically what it made me feel like was I was doomed to be like that regardless. And I mean, even just logically speaking, right? Like I was like, why would I want to bring children in this world and subject them to the same nonsense that I had to deal with, knowing how it's going to impact them in adulthood? I couldn't bring myself to be okay with that. But something that my husband and I both had to realize was that we are not these fixed boulders that are incapable of growing, and we are not, like, our experiences don't define us. We might have residual habits and thoughts and beliefs from our upbringing, from adolescence, from even previous relationships, but that's not the end all be all, and we are allowed to change. Like, we can change. But change is hard, and it takes time, and it takes, first of all, getting really honest about where you are in the moment. We all want to believe that we're good people. We all want to believe that we're good partners. But when you peel back the layers, I mean, everyone's going to find something, right? And we had a lot of layers to peel back. We had a lot of experiences to unpack. And that was uncomfortable, and it took a while, but it really needed to happen, because if it didn't, then either we were going to just be one of those couples that's like toxic but stays together just because, or we were going to crash and burn. Like, it was, either outcome was not good. And even further than that, if we ever wanted to grow our family, we were going to need to be better versions of ourselves so that we could be better parents. And I am so glad now that we have arrived at this point where we do have a child on the horizon, that we did that work when we did, because we are far better at communicating now. We are far better about coping with our stress. We're far better at expressing our needs. And I am just like, I can't express how relieved and grateful I am and appreciative of both of us that we were willing to do that work when we did it, Because of course, while we're not perfect now, we are in a much better place to be able to show up as parents. You know, it's one thing to have children, but it is another thing to be a parent. And it is a role that you have to fulfill, that you have to show up for, that you have to want to be in to really do the thing. You know what I mean? And I think, unfortunately, a lot of what people underestimate is the fact that, like, it does take a lot of work, and it's going to challenge you in ways that you've never been challenged before. And all of the things that you overlooked, all of maybe the bad habits and the red flags and the, you know, the harmful beliefs that you ignored will definitely come out when a child comes into play. Like, a child is not going to heal all those things for you. They are not going to make it all go away. They are going to amplify them. So that is, I think, the sort of thing that happened with actually both my husband and I, is that our parents, coming from a generation that did not really talk about mental health, and basically just assumed that, like, if you were strong enough to just keep it pushing after whatever happened to you, then you were good to go. I think that's what happened with them, and that's why we experienced the things that we did as children, right? Things went unaddressed. Things just got swept under the rug. Things were just ignored. And then when children came into the picture, everything just exploded. And, you know, anyways, I don't want to get too tangential with this, because I do love to yap, and I will continue to yap if left unchecked. But the last thing that I really want to emphasize is the importance of community. I cannot stress enough how monumental the fantastic support that my husband and I have had in this has been. And I'm not saying that, like, we would crash and burn if we didn't have it, but it would have made it a lot harder to be as excited and as at peace with the fact that our family is growing if we didn't. You know, if you do have a really good support system, you need to make sure that you are also part of that support system for somebody else. So we don't want it to be a situation where we're just taking and never giving anything back, right? Within reason, of course. You know, don't get conned out here, or, you know, that's not what I'm saying. Like, don't burn yourself out, have boundaries, but, you know, when you can, make sure that you're also giving back. Make sure that you're also pouring into your friends and checking up on them, and so on and so forth. Because in situations like this, where your life is about to undergo dramatic change, whether it's for something beautiful like the arrival of a child, or something more tragic like the loss of a loved one, or even just like a health crisis, you know, it's your village that's going to get you through that, really. Like, yes, we can be as strong and resilient and all of those things on our own, but we need a village. So that's going to be the last point that I make before this video gets too long. But yeah, I can't believe I'm gonna be a mom, guys. Like, what? Like, me? I've loved children all my life. I have absolutely adored children from the jump. And the fact that, like, my husband and I get to have our own now is just insane. It's insane to think about. Yeah. I'm getting all mushy just thinking about it, but I can't help it. It's just like, oh. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there, but thank you so much for watching / listening. And I would absolutely love to hear from you guys and your own experiences with parenthood, whether you are trying, or maybe you were trying in the past and changed your mind, or, you know, maybe you're not interested in kids, and kind of what's leading you to having those thoughts, as well as, like, if you're expecting, or you just had your first, or you've had 5 and all your kids are grown. Like, I really want to hear from everybody, because yeah, I mean, that's what the internet is for, right? It's for connection and, you know, communicating with our fellow humans. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time, whenever next time is. All right, bye for real this time. Oh my God, I've said like, I don't know how to do outros. Bye.